Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started with our session. It's 12:16 now. Donovan Taylor, Director of the Plan Room, which is a business accelerator targeting our contractors and engineering and architectural firms in the city to help to build up our diverse contractors, to help them scale up new business opportunities, operate more efficiently, and land more new contracts. One of is we're having a session today on marketing strategies for contractors and small businesses in collaboration with SCORE Louisville, and we have Ms. Kerry DeMuth here from RevLocal, who will be our presenter today. And so hopefully this is kind of an open session. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. We have individuals who may be joining us online, or a few people will be joining us online. So I'll be checking the chat session there for any online questions. And again, those who may be joining us online, I did put it in chat to please share your name, business name, email address, and contact number in our chat section, and please share all questions in our chat. And I will pass it on to Mr. Booth.
Thanks, Donovan. So, plug for SCORE. There's brochures here in the plan room on the resource table over there. So SCORE is a part of the SBA, and we provide free mentoring for local businesses. So if you go to score.org, and that's our website, and there's a button for find a mentor, and you just fill out the prompts, and the system will pair you up with a local mentor within 3 to 5 business days. Super effective. Highly encourage you to take advantage of free mentoring with SCORE. So me personally, I serve as the chapter chair for SCORE as a volunteer, but I do have a day job as a digital marketing consultant for RevLocal. We're a national premier level Google partner. Only 3% of premier level partners, 3% of digital firms across the country are premier level partners, and we're one of them. So think of me as your Google girl here in Louisville. Happy to be a resource for you. Jonathan, if you want to go to the next slide. So this is my contact information. I have tools at my disposal to be able to analyze any business online and give you pointers and recommendations of how to better your online presence. So please take advantage of that. It's no charge. Happy to be of service. So with that, my background real quick, I was in the television industry, and then ad agency side, and then corporate America side, and being a student of the internet ever since it came out in the 90s to find the right digital partners for ad agency clients. And then in corporate America, I worked with a bunch of different digital partners, local, regional, national. And I was so blown away by RevLocal that I lobbied to go work for them 7 years ago. So, and the reason for that was finally a digital partner that's on top of daily innovations in the digital space, because as you know, it changes all the time. Yeah. Oh, look at some music going on there.
Yes.
Hey. So what we want to talk about today is the foundational piece of marketing, and then get into the digital space. So things to think about as you're planning your marketing strategy. Anyone here have a marketing plan already? No? Okay, well, that's what we're going to talk about. So first step in any marketing plan is identifying your target audience. And so you want to think about, 2 different opportunities if you're B2B or B2C. So if you're B2B, what are those businesses that you're going to sell to? Or if it's B2C, what does that consumer look like? It can be as detailed as the demographics for age, marital status, ethnicity, education, household income levels, all of those pieces of the puzzle on the demographic side. And then you get into psychographics and behavioral. Let's see. Oh, well, before we get into that. So this is a big one when you're thinking about your target audience. Are they willing to pay a price for your products and services that allows you a reasonable profit margin? So you'll hear me talk about profit margin a lot today. So because we want you to be successful, we want you to make money. So thinking about that, you want to find the audience that can afford your services. In other words, really drilling down on again, it's a fine line of what you're charging and what the market will bear. So understanding that from the consumer base of who you're selling to. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next slide. So we were just talking about the demographic factors, psychographic factors, behavioral factors, and then again, who you're going after. Are you doing business to business or business to consumer or both? When you're doing both, you really need to identify both target markets and what that looks like. Okay, next slide. So this is where we talk about profitability, making sure that you're pricing your services or your product appropriately. So there's several ways to do that. Sometimes it's cost plus basis, where you know what your time cost and your out-of-pocket costs and your materials costs, and then mark that up. Other people just like to look at what the
What's that
market will
called?
bear.
Excuse me. What'd you say that was called?
Oh,
Cost plus.
cost plus, pricing strategy. Or you look at what your competitors are charging and see what the market will bear, and then work backwards and make sure that you cover all of your costs and you still make a profit by staying in that realm. But the main thing is making sure that you're not charging too little, because if you start out offering your services at too low of a price, you'll have a hard time getting it up to where you need to be profitable. So always start out being profitable. That's what we're in business for, right? Show me the money. Okay. Okay, next slide. So this is a big part of marketing, is developing your sales network. So what does that look like? There's all kinds of opportunities to get your name out there. People like to do business with people. So networking groups, meeting people, learning about other people's businesses and who you might be able to refer to them will lead back to people referring business to you. So really work those networking groups, referral opportunities, going to business events where you can connect with people, getting your name out there, joining the chambers of commerce or your community get-togethers, your church, different avenues where you can be a promoter of yourself in order to get business. And then complementary businesses that you can partner with is really important in building that marketing plan. So thinking through those opportunities.
Definitely for our contractors, it would be very key oftentimes to attend certain neighborhood groups. It would be very good because oftentimes those neighborhood groups are a good referral system. Definitely we're doing home repairs and business rehabs, and so that those will be great resources. Also, is a great resource. Neighborhood groups oftentimes are on the front end of developments in their particular neighborhood. So so you could be there to get information on what is coming up in that neighborhood. So you're preparing yourself for those business opportunities that will be in that particular neighborhood as well. I.e., State had a meeting yesterday in Chickasaw regarding the Western School and its expansion. And so that's going to be contact between the new school there in the Chickasaw area. So attending certain neighborhood meetings can also be very beneficial to your business, just to get information out there, or just drop in and share your business information with those neighbors that are involved in those meetings.
Yeah. So that's like grassroots level guerrilla marketing. And so where my day job comes into play, having a well built out online presence really helps those grassroots guerrilla marketing efforts, because as you're out and about meeting people, they're going to look you up. So you want to make sure, and we'll get into that a little bit later, you want to make sure that when they look you up, you look good. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so let's talk about branding your business. So Kevin and Robert have done a great job of branding. Got their shirts, got the logo, they got the graphic. This is so important. So this is the beginning stages, making sure when you're creating your logo, it needs to be scalable, so it's equally recognizable in a variety of sizes and situations. So working with a professional artist is super helpful to get it right the first time. So then you have variations that you can use on signage, you can use on business cards, you can use on the internet. So that's a real critical piece in building your brand. And then, yeah, just all the varieties of applications.
And I would say it is very good, and particularly for our contractors to have yards.
Mhm.
So when you're doing particular work in a property, you have that sign in the yard so people ride past and they recognize who's doing the work on that particular property. That is an awesome tool so people see, because if I see you doing work in a particular neighbor's house, I'm wondering more likely looking to visit with you since that neighbor has selected you as well.
Yeah, inexpensive, but very helpful. Okay, next slide. So once you have that logo design, it's really helpful in working with that graphic designer to create a style guide. And so that's, having your color palette for everything that you do, picking the font for any brochures or online presence. So it's all consistent. Having that consistent branding really elevates you above your competition. So again, it legitimizes your business to potential customers that you're truly a professional outfit. And then just having that, so in case for some reason someone else in the business, you grow your business so big, you have other people that manage all this for you, they have the Bible, the style guide to refer back to. So a graphic designer is usually the person that puts that together when they do your logo and put together a style guide.
Yes, and this is good, and also very, very, very good. They have this with the colors to match when you're doing various variations of your logo. That'll be essential. Like I said, if you go to get a business card, so that color is matching exactly the color of your shirt, another material. So I know I have for some of our contractors, I have created some of our logos, so I'm gonna have to go back and create you guys a style guide.
Tom,
Yeah.
hone in to say, okay, well, what's that name? The color.
Yeah, very good. Next slide. So one of the things that's so important if you're going after government contracts is to have that capability statement. And I referenced a website here, but you can just Google how to write a capability statement, and this government website is the best because it gives you all the details of what the government is looking for. But it's basically a one sheet with your mission statement and who you are, what you have to offer, your contact information, all rolled into one. Super easy, just 8.5 by 11 sheet. It's nice to add some graphics, but it's not designed to be super graphically enhanced. It's just the facts, man. It's kind of a capability statement, but super helpful, especially if you're working with your bank to get lending, those types of things. It's really important to have that.
Great.
It's almost like a resume for real.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a great tool to have when you're out networking.
Oh, yeah.
To pass it along on certain sessions, that could be the reason why you were selected. By having the capability, because it provides so much information about your business in a snapshot that could give you that competitive edge over the competitors. Who most of them may not even be aware of a capability statement and may not even have one. So that could happen with your advantage.
Yeah. Next slide. So let's talk about the voice of your brand. So this is more of representing the personality of your brand. Are you a thought leader? Are you educational? Are you fun? Are you humorous? Those types of things. And that rolls into the wonderful world of social media and online presence. So really wanting to see how you want to represent the voice of your brand. What's your style in communicating who you are and what you do is the voice of your brand. So again, what you stand for, and tying into your target audience, your customer persona, what is your mission statement, So these are really important things to think about as you're honing in on your marketing plan. What is the voice of my brand? Who am I? What am I doing? Why? And your why is so important. Why are you doing what you do? Because it comes through in how you market yourself to other folks. Okay. So that all comes into play when you build your online presence. So that's what we want to spend some time on today, because the world lives online. So it can be as simple as just a one-page website, which is called a microsite. You don't have to have a full-blown website, but you got to start somewhere. And then being found on search engines goes to listing work. It's called citation building. We'll get into that a little bit more here in a minute. And then optimizing for local search, the map and the push pin section. In 2010, Google completely changed the playing field of search and created that local search section, the map and the push pins, because their data was showing them that the majority of searches had an intent to buy from a local business. So that was a big disruption in the search engine optimization game, because it shoved organic search down below local search. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. But since then, other search engines have followed Google's lead and created their own local search sections. So Bing has one, Yahoo has one, and now Apple is getting into the Google game and allowing businesses to claim a free listing in Apple as well. Anyone have an Apple phone? iPhone? There you go. Yeah, it's a thing now. So important to be aware of that. And then creating and manage social media. We'll talk more about how social media can enhance your business. And then, you might want to try your hand at some paid ads at some point, but highly recommend using certified paid ad planners and doing paid ads, because it changes all the time. I'm sure you get those Google emails saying, oh, you got a $500 credit for free ads. You get those? Don't use that. Because see what happens, you have to put in a credit card in order to get the free $500. And once that $500 is up, it automatically charges your card another $500. And they make it super hard to turn it off. So it's better to work with a certified paid ad planner in that regard. Yes.
What is a certified?
Paid ad planner?
Yes.
So we are at RevLocal. So premier level partner, Google partners are the certified paid ad. Now there's other digital folks that do say they do paid ads, but they're not part of beta testing the platform or getting the direct line training that a certified paid ad planner is. So you might want to ask, are you certified paid ad planner? And they'll be like, what's that? And then you go, yeah, that's not you. Yeah, right.
And it's a
Certified paid ad planner,
paid
paid ad.
Paid
the
ad.
digital space, yeah. Yeah, that's really important in today's world. Okay, next slide. So I love this line. We don't go online, we live. Okay, here's a statistic for you. Only 20 minutes outside of the day are you not right next to your phone. And guess when that is?
You sleep.
When you're in the shower.
Oh.
Oh no, don't be doing that. Okay, next slide. So what's really fascinating is how the customer journey has changed. Okay, so in the past, advertising, marketing was, oh, let's just put a full page ad in the newspaper and we're going to get all this business. Or oh, let's just get a really big ad in the phone book and we're going to get all this business. Well, the world has changed. Okay, so because of machine learning and artificial intelligence, the search engines have gotten so much smarter and trained us all whenever we're wanting something, thinking about something, needing something, we just start typing it into a search engine or speaking it into a voice search and expecting the right answers to come up. So think about this. Remember when the internet first came out in the 90s? If you didn't know the exact URL address of what you were looking for, now before you even finish typing in what you're trying to find, Google already knows it and it's like giving you the answer, right? So how to capture that for your business is where we come into play and what we're going to talk about. So used to be, it would take like 3 to 5 touches of people seeing and hearing about your business before they could take action. Now it's more like 15 to 20 touches because of the onslaught of so much noise out there, not only in the digital space, but just, there's a gazillion channels on TV and streaming TV. There's, multiple radio stations. It's just a lot of clutter. And so the customer journey, the base, your foundation is your online presence, so that as you're out there meeting people, seeing people, and they've forgotten your name, they're going to look up, for instance, Painter, Louisville, Kentucky. You want to be right there, and then they can say, "Oh yeah, that was the guy I talked to." And then they're going to do their research, and they're going to go beyond your listing or your website, and they're going to go into your social media, and they're going to see, what you're all about. I'm sure you've done that as a consumer yourself. Yeah, so super important that there's just a whole lot of intricacies of how decisions are made in today's customer journey. Okay, Donovan, next slide. So why does Google matter? It's the big elephant in the room. 3.5 billion searches a day on Google. So it's by far the biggest search engine. And Google's trained all of us. I mean, Google's a verb now. Just Google that. Yeah. So how do you effectively play the Google game? That's what we're talking about. Okay. Next slide. So how many of y'all have a Google My Business free business listing? One? Okay, this is free. I love free. So I have the web address on here, google.com/business. And you can go in there and claim your free listing. I highly recommend you doing that. And then you can just follow the prompts to fill out all of the content. Now you have to have a Gmail email account in order to create a free Google listing. So if you don't have one, first thing to do is to create a Gmail account in order to get the free Google listing. Some of the key things I want to point out. So this is my Google listing over here, and you can see that there's a service area map for the service area that I focus on. Because I'm a remote worker, our headquarters is outside of Columbus, Ohio. So I don't want my home address on my Google listing because the Google car comes around and takes a picture, and I don't want my house on my Google listing. So anytime you look up a business and you see their Google listing and it's their home address and you see their house, you might want to say, hey, you might want to fix that. But they probably don't even know that that's like that. So setting up a service area, once you get into the back end of the listing, you just put in like the farthest north zip code, farthest east, farthest south, farthest west that you want to cover, and then it'll draw the map. Or you can put in the city names of the circumference that you want to cover. And then, business category is really important. The description of who you are and what you do. You have almost 800 characters, like 755 characters to fill that out. And we have a question?
I think we did.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, please.
When you sign into your login, this happens to me a lot. When it asks for your ID number, and then it asks you a password. Sometimes when I do something like that, it says it's already in. I can't password.
So maybe you say the password on your.
Well, I never went into the system. You know what I'm saying? I never signed in, but sometimes it says.
So do you have a Gmail account? So if you Google your, so you don't have a Google listing?
Yeah, I do. Not even that, but I'm just saying sometimes it happens there. Something new.
Oh, okay. Well, you're probably logged in to your Gmail account, then that's why I'm saying that you've already logged in. Yeah, because like if you, like on your Gmail account, like in the top right, the circle, is that like your face or your initial or something? Initial.
Mhm.
So when you're logged in as you, then it won't ask for your password again for other people's product. Yeah, it knows you. It's found you. Yeah, okay. So sometimes Google arbitrarily makes Google listings. So if there's a listing out there that already exists, but it's unclaimed, you can claim it and take charge of it. So that's a really important thing to do. Several years back, there was a crazy story on the national news in Texas. There's just crazy people out there, but there was an outfit that decided to prey on an unsuspecting industry. So they went after the appliance repair people in Texas. And they went in and they claimed all of the Google listings for these appliance repair people and changed the phone number to their phone number. And so then when they would get the call, they'd send out people, that looked official in like a, work clothes and a clipboard, and they take payment, and then they go down, fix the washer and dryer, and they just like hang out for a half hour, come back and say bye and not do anything. I mean, so yeah, so it's important to lock this stuff down as you, so that no one else will. Yeah. Okay, so adding phone numbers, adding photos, video. One of the biggest things in this local search section are the online reviews, the Google reviews. Today's word of mouth advertising is the form of online reviews. And in local search algorithm, it's the Google review that matters, because 20% of the local search algorithm is based on your Google reviews. How many do you have, what the average quality score is, and how recent are they? Because if you haven't had a Google review in 6 months to a year, Google thinks you may have gone out of business. So being seen as a relevant player in local search is really important, and having consistent Google reviews really helps elevate you in that ranking. So best practices in review marketing is to always respond to every single review, good and bad. So as a consumer, I'm sure you read reviews. And have you noticed when a hinky one comes through and then there's nothing from the owner to rebut that, and you're just like, what's up with that? Do I really want to do business with them? So when you get a Google review, your Gmail account that's tied to the Google listing gets a notification. Hey, you got a review. Would you like to respond? And you say yes, please. And there's a button that says reply, and you just just as easy as thanking people. Or if it's something that's challenging, take a deep breath and try it, offer to fix it, but that people look for that.
Yes.
Communication.
Yeah, I would encourage you that you encourage your clients at the end of completion of your work to send you a Google review.
Yes, and once you create your Google listing, there's a button to ask for reviews, and it'll give you a short link that you can text to people, turn it into a QR code, email it to people. Yeah, statistics show that 70% of people will leave you a review if you ask them to, and make it super easy for them to do that. Yeah. Next slide. So this is the anatomy of search. So you have the paid ads at the top, that's pay per click, where you work with a certified paid ad planner, preferably, and you set monthly budgets. And then as people click on those ads, the budget gets depleted over time, and then it recurs, it charges again the next month type of thing. And then local search that we were talking about, and how important those reviews are, because that's a big signifier when people are making decisions who they want to work with. And then organic search is down below local search. So 85% of buying decisions are made here in the local search section. Really important to understand that. Back on the wonderful world of paid ads, 2 different strategies in paid ads. Meeting the demand is the top of Google we were just talking about. Yes, I'm having a dinner party tonight and my toilet's backed up. I'm calling that first plumber that comes up on the screen, meeting that demand.
Must be this.
Another strategy is creating a domain where people don't know about your business and how do they find you? So in the digital space, there's a couple ways to do that. One is called brand awareness type advertising. So every website that carries banner ads, the delivery mechanism is the Google Display Ad Network. And so folks like us, we can geofence a service area to show your banner ad when people are searching within your service area. And they see it, they click on it, they pick up a pixel, and then that banner ad follows them around the next 4 or 5 stops on the internet. Super effective for brand building or brainwashing. So that's brand awareness building, and that's based on impressions. And then in social media world, targeted paid ads, which is different than boosting a post. Targeted paid ads are when you can get really granular, and especially if you have a customer database, you can analyze that for the emails for lookalikes, because the IP address gives a whole history of their searching and behavioral stuff online. And so then you can use that to find more like IP addresses to serve up your ad to in targeted paid ads for social media. Super effective. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so building that credibility online. I love this picture. I don't know if you can see what thing. So this is what we see as, consumers, but there's a whole world underneath that makes that business visible online. So there's over 70 listing directories that validate a business to Google. It's called citation building that I referred to earlier. And that's a really important foundational piece. It's kind of like you have a utility bill to keep the lights on in the building, citation building, outsourcing that to a legitimate company is worth the money because it's like your utility bill to keep your lights on in Google. And that gives you the relevancy to be seen as a relevant player in the Google space. And then there's all kinds of other activity that goes on in optimizing for local search to effectively play in the search engine marketing game. And so outsourcing that is really worth your while because it changes constantly. Just to give you an example, that local search algorithm had over 5,000 updates last year because of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we actually play in that space on a regular basis. So we have access to what those are as they are happening and being able to make adjustments constantly to stay on top of all that. Yeah.
What if you have like a lot of people searching at your website, but then you get overloaded because you're a small business? What does that search go to? How what is that going?
Well, that's a good problem to have. Then you need to hire some more people.
Right, exactly.
So in the area of paid, if you're doing a robust paid ads campaign and all of a sudden you got too much business, you can turn that off. And that kind of slow down that pipeline. But you always want to maintain high level of ranking in the search engines so that you're constantly seen as the best choice. Yeah. So that's important. Okay, so one thing we didn't talk about that we're going to get into in a minute, consistent posting in social media. Yeah. So the local search algorithm actually includes a look at your social media environment. It's all interconnected. So consistent posting in social media helps elevate you in the local search section. And the magic number is a minimum of 13 posts a month. So that's on average 3 to 4 posts a week in social media. Super effective. Okay, next slide. So what is social media marketing? It's a great opportunity to expand your business online. So building your brand, reaching more followers, boosting engagement and driving leads. So, think about this. Okay. We're all of a certain generation. We grew up where, if you had an issue, you would call a 1-800 support line or a customer service desk, that kind of thing. Well, guess what that is in today's world? It's direct messaging on Facebook. It's tweeting on Twitter. This is how the public wants to engage with your company. And you need to be able to feel comfortable in that environment to be able to engage with those customers.
I think it's an absolute must that you at least be on Facebook, if you make posts of your work. And also, absolutely, if you're a contractor, it will be absolutely essential for you to be a friend or a Plan Room Facebook site. Oftentimes, what I do is when you have individuals say, I'm looking for a plumber, I'm for a painter, I will just share that on the Plan Room page. Hopefully, our contractors look at that page very cool and say, and someone's looking for a painter. Put your name down there, please. Please inbox me for a quote. I mean, a lot of business goes on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Not that is the first place the person looks when they're looking for business. They're gonna go online.
Yeah.
I need an accountant, and they're looking for their friends and the people that they're connected with online to share with them recommendations for that. And so you want to be a part of that. They listen when people are looking for a painter, they listen to JC Paint Plus. For the person to go on your Facebook or your website and link with you for business. Guys, oftentimes that is very first place the person looks for this, definitely a service business is on social media.
Great segue. Joining Facebook groups right here. Number one opportunity. And when you're in those groups, it's not sell. No, it's building the community. It's commenting on other people's posts and being a part of the community and engaging and not constantly selling your services. It's letting people get to know you, the voice of your brand, who you are, what you represent, but in a more conversational aspect, and then it comes back to you. So when people are asking for referrals that aren't your business, but someone that they should know, then you jump in there and say, oh, I got a guy, and here's his information. And then that looks good on you because you're the one that's being helpful. And it's again, name recognition by that. Again, those 15 to 20 times people are going to see your name before they remember it. So
I would share like it's very important. I'm trying to share a list of groups that you should be a part of, like the Keys of Group, Buy Back Louisville, Boss Connect. There's very groups that are socializing within this community that we should be connected with because there are personally to connecting with either the business to business or business to consumer.
yeah.
And this, one of the, what I want to say is, one of the reasons I've made myself anyway, I'm not really big Facebook, well, I got it. Really socialized with a lot, so much, chatter on it. I've never looked at it as a business platform, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time when you hear about Facebook, you hear about somebody talking about what they're doing personally. So, yeah,
It's a major business platform. And if you're not well versed on doing social media, connect with some young person in your family. Son or daughter, niece and nephew, grandkids, probably be well versed on doing social media than you to just occasionally, hey, I'm making here's $40 a month to give me my 13 posts.
Yeah.
And comments. That would be awesome opportunity for a young person that are great asset to your business as well.
So back on your point, having a business social media page versus a personal social. You have to have a personal Facebook. You have to have a personal Facebook page in order to create a business Facebook. And then Facebook owns Instagram, so you're going to want the same for Instagram and then link the two So then if you just post to Instagram, it'll automatically post to your business Facebook page. But you want to do that, you want to separate church and state, personal versus business, so that you don't get all that chat in the business, on the business side. And the same thing with LinkedIn is a really great thing for any business to have a presence on, but you have to have a personal LinkedIn page in order to create the business LinkedIn page. Yeah. LinkedIn, it's like it's a business platform. It's really more for recruiters but people will look you up and it's searchable. So the 4 platforms that are searchable in Google: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So anything posted on any of those platforms are all searchable in Google. And the weird thing is TikTok is really not searchable in Google at this point, but that could change. So those are the 4 main ones to focus on. Yeah. And then, being able to engage with your followers, reply to inbox or private messages, and reviews are big in social media too. Facebook being the #1 for reviews. So if you get a review on Facebook, be sure to respond to it. Super important. Yeah. Let me get that. I think I got it now.
You're still here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, did we go too far? There we go. Okay, so here's some more general social media tips for you. Again, on the business page, you want to have your phone number and a call to action. Like if you prefer email, you might want to put your email address on there. So there's in the business section, you can put that information. So that's really important. Your website. And then you can, boost posts, or you can do paid ads, review gathering. If you have more than 3 locations, it's important to have separate social media pages per location. And that's all back to the whole searchability factor for those locations. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is Nextdoor. Have you guys claimed your free business listing on the Nextdoor app? Are you actively on Nextdoor? Do you know about Nextdoor? Okay. So you can Google Nextdoor, download the app.
For your neighborhood.
Yeah, sign up for your personal neighborhood. And then there's in the description information, there's an area where you can create a business listing for free. Highly encourage you doing it in the Nextdoor app, because a lot of referrals come from Nextdoor, neighbors asking other neighbors for referrals, and you just want to. So then if someone if you've created your free business listing in Nextdoor and someone goes to recommend you, when they start typing your name, it'll pull up the business listing, and they can just simply click on that, and then it's like a little mini ad for you in their referral, which is super nice, much more professional that way. Yeah, so I go this way. Oh, there we go. So just to give you some demographics of who lives in this social media. One thing we didn't talk about was this one, YouTube. Do you know that YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine after Google? And did you know that Google owns YouTube? Surprise. Yeah. Please.
What'd you say?
Google owns YouTube. And YouTube's the 2nd largest search engine after Google. So if you're getting into video, which is all the rage these days, because smartphones are super smart and super high quality, it's really great to build out a YouTube channel and post your videos there, and then link them to social media where you direct traffic, or have your website linked to your YouTube channel, and vice versa. That whole interlinking is really important.
And I will say that Facebook, you kind of have an increase of your baby boomers as they become more tech savvy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see here. Okay, so what do you post about? Yeah. What do I say? What do I talk about? So you want to talk about some educational pieces, industry tips, seasonality of your business. What to think about when they need your service. Certain times of the year might have impact on what you do. But then your community involvement, so say you sponsor the Little League, and you promote the heck. Or you're involved at your church, you know, you can talk about that. And then anything new in the business, if you got a new employee, you want to do an employee spotlight, those are always great. If you get a really good Google review or Facebook review, you can repurpose that, or you can make a little graphic with that review and a quote and say, thank you for this great review, those types of things. And then if you're, you know, come across any educational articles in your industry and you want to post those in your social media, those always get highly read too, when people click through to see the articles. Just, hey, I want to share this link with you, or share other, you know, sharing other people's content is a great way to get visibility too. Yeah. And then
For sharing our content.
yes, that's right. So all of you need to go in and so then you'll start getting that in your feed, and then you can like and share. That's how that works, for sure. Okay, and then, so analyzing social media insights. So it's really great. I'm just gonna use Facebook, Instagram as an example. Once you have your business pages set up, and you can start reading the tea leaves, so to speak. They do a great job of providing free insights analytics in this new Meta Business Center. So you're able to see activity, post engagements, page views, page likes, reach, followers, and the same with Instagram insights. It's super helpful. But the thing that I really like are these guys. When over time, they have these maps where you can start seeing where when your followers are most active. So then you can time your posts. Yeah, you have a question?
Absolutely. You get to that. I've never seen that.
So the Meta Business Center under analytics. Yeah, it's a new thing.
Yeah, it is now.
And so do you know what the lifetime of a post is typically? About, yeah, well, they're not talking about 24 hours. Yeah. So there's some tricks to the trade here I'm going to get to in a minute. Let's see. So then the same thing on Instagram, where over time it'll start showing you where the best time is to do a post, day of the week and the time. And you can schedule those out. So the Meta Business Center has a scheduling tool. So you can come up with, you know, a whole month's worth of posts, put them in the scheduler based on the days and times that you're seeing is the best time to post, and then just set it and forget it. That kind of thing. Well, don't forget it, but because you're going to start getting interactions, and that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. But stories are really popular, and doing reels and Instagram, where it's more of a highlighted area that seems to be more popular. And then being able to engage with people that are following your stories. So hashtags are a biggie. I think that's what we're going to talk about next. Oh no, live video. Has anyone done any live video? Facebook Live, all the rage. No. Super effective. And some of the
Most effective.
yeah. So like if you're doing an event or you know, it could be anything. If you like in the painting world, if you got like some new hot color you want to demonstrate, hey, still Facebook Live. It's really interesting the engagement you can get. You're doing this Facebook Live at such date, such time, and
Short client interview.
yeah.
Is that client?
Yeah, those are really good. Testimonials, those are good.
Yes, that's good. Client testimonials will awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so hashtags are my favorite.
Mhm.
You ever like scratch your head going, what?
A long time.
So you can actually research what are trending hashtags for the area that you're in, your industry or location. Super helpful. But I love this guide because it's different for each platform, giving you strategies for the right amount of hashtags. So Facebook, really 1 to 2 hashtags, plenty. Twitter 1 to 2, LinkedIn 2 to 3, but Instagram up to 30 hashtags on Instagram, which is
Is
crazy.
that what is that? Is that the hashtag? What is?
So a hashtag, when you see at the, you see a post and it has this mark with some words after it, and like a list of them. Those are all hashtags. So what that means, if someone's searching in the platform with any of those keywords, then they're gonna find your post. So it's a way to attract more followers that are interested in the subject matter that you're presenting in your post. So that's how that works. Yeah. Okay, so messenger, we talked about direct messaging. This is really important. So are you all texters into texting? Well, that's the way of the world today with these young people. They don't want to talk to anyone on the phone. They just want to either text or email or direct message you or tweet you. So you got to get with the times and get in the game.
Yeah, if you do have a business, Facebook or Instagram account, even though you may list your telephone number or email, a person still may inbox or message you. So checking those messages at least once a week will be awesome, just to catch those individuals who may have sent you a message looking for your business.
And if you, I know it's annoying, but if you turn on your notifications, you'll get those in real time. So that's super helpful. Yeah. Emojis, woo! Believe it or not, when you use emojis, it gets more visibility for some reason, more engagement. People like emojis. So don't go nuts, but you know, one or two are kind of fun to highlight a post. And believe it or not, in email marketing, do any of y'all do email marketing with like the Constant Contact or any of the email marketing services like MailChimp, any of those? No. So email marketing is super helpful if you're building a customer database and you want to communicate to them with a newsletter, that type of thing. But it's interesting on the emoji discussion that email marketing gets opened more when there's an emoji in the subject line. So you might take that to heart when you're emailing people that you're not necessarily getting a response from, and put a little emoji in your subject line. See if you get any better engagement. Okay, this is my favorite slide. Wait, did I go one too many? I went one too many. We'll come back. Okay, so this is where we talk about increasing engagement, general tips. So I love this one. Direct message anyone who engages with you. So when people make a comment on one of your posts, just go ahead and direct message them saying, hey, thanks for a reaction for your comment, or, you know, what do you think? Or just start a conversation. So when people comment on your stuff, it gives you the introduction to direct message them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it gives you permission to contact them and start that dialogue. So super helpful. And then I love this one, follow the followers of your competitors. So, you know, in social media, you can invite people to like your page or follow your page, that type of thing. So go to your competitors' pages and see.
Check on their friends and
Yeah.
invite their friends to be your friends. If y'all be friends.
What do you think? Yeah.
Taking customers away.
Yeah.
See, I always though, I was worried about that. I was like, I don't want these guys to know what I'm doing.
What else do you do?
Well, it's not really directly. You're not asking your competitors to follow your page. You're asking your competitors' followers to follow your page.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just go to their page.
Yeah.
Click on their friends and they can just their friends.
I'll do that too.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
invite their friends to
Yeah.
be your friend.
And then like comments on previous posts only after you publish a new post. So let me show you this diagram. This is super sneaky. This is my favorite. Oops, I went too far. Super sneaky. Okay. So you make a post and then someone has engaged with you. They made a comment or liked it or shared it or something. Okay. Now, don't respond back to them right away. Wait till you schedule another post, then go back and reply to that first post because it forces them to see your second post. So you don't have to respond right away. And And so then the customer will get the notification and returns to the, and then they go back and then look at your second post,
So
so,
they'll see both of them at the same time.
yeah. Yeah. So that works best when you're posting regularly, like once a day. Thing. So then you wait till day 3 to go back and respond to day 1's post. You've already posted again on day 2. And then the snowball effect happens, because then people go, oh, they said this, and I'm gonna share that. Just grows from
Go
there.
back to the other one right there. What's the other one before that?
Sure. Yeah.
Thinking of that one, right now, when you go in and you look at somebody else's friends, and then you look for their friends. That's when you do it in just normal, not on there, people feel like you're still in a customers. Right? So I'm just saying that's
It's business.
you know, but I'm just, it's,
Right. Right.
okay.
Because only the person would know that you're invited them. They would never know that you're invited.
Okay,
Obviously, you or that person is
Okay.
business.
I was just doing that too, because that's just what normally happens in the real. That's all.
That's kind of what I was getting at, 'cause their friends, maybe he reposted something else about them said.
Well, unless you make that person your friend, they're not gonna see your post.
That's right.
Unless they
That's right.
unless they go check your Facebook page.
I just wanted to know that. Like, it's,
And be sure to be doing all those requests for people to follow you using your business social media pages, not your personal pages. So you have to switch. So when you're logged in your personal page, you have to switch over to the business page and then do the inviting. Yeah.
Okay, and that's why I said that, so you gotta know, you know, if you do it the other way, that other people,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can we run over that engagement cycle again?
Yeah.
So that's that.
Real quick.
Not
So
this one,
Donovan,
the next- on the
5
next
to
slide.
20 hours.
That's.
So back to your point. So keep in mind, the lifespan of a single post is 5 to 20 hours. So the sneaky thing was going through this. If you're posting once a day. Day 1 post, someone engages with it, don't respond until day 3. So you put another post in on day 2.
Yeah.
So then,
Post day 1, second post day 2, respond to first post day 3.
yes, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, super helpful.
Keep that cycle.
So,
Gotta work the cycle.
actually, they see when you respond on that 3rd day, they see all 3 days.
Well, what it does is they get a notification that you responded to their comment or like their comment. What it does, they oftentimes will maybe click back on it and it would just bring them back to the page so they see those things.
Again,
Mhm.
what they were talking about, the conversation was.
You just kind of make them keep on the hook, they go
Yes.
back and now they see 3 more
You got it.
options. Yeah,
Yeah.
it took a little time. I got it. All right.
So
I like
we're
that.
again.
Just his right.
It's my world. Yes, so some examples of success stories of people playing this game appropriately does lead to business opportunities. Especially in social media, everything is so visual. And if you're in a type of business that's a visual business like painters, you definitely want to show off what you do. Because then it gives people the opportunity to really see who you are and what you do. You're super helpful. Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. So again, talking about the company that I represent, RevLocal, we're all about education because I mentioned the digital space changes all the time. So one of the big things that we offer is a free blog RevLocal.com/blog. Highly encourage you to sign up to get that blog. We send out a weekly trends in digital of things that you should know about. And it's not just Google space, it's social media, it's what's going on in Bing and in what's going on in YouTube world, all kinds of different opportunities, because you can't really, because it changes so much. It's not like you can go to college for this stuff. I mean, you can get the basics in college, but we're like the day-to-day educators because we're living it front lines too. And we really haven't even talked about artificial intelligence. So has anyone played around with ChatGPT yet? And that's a great tool for designing posts for social media. So you can give ChatGPT some subjects to come up with social media posts for those subjects. And it's a great way to start. Well, the system will build it out and then you just edit it. So you don't have to think. It's just super helpful. And then just schedule those posts on the scheduler and you got that done. Yes.
And I know there's no question when you don't answer. What is blog? Because I mean, blog sounds like if you just listen to the word, it doesn't really sound. What is it?
So a blog is when you're posting articles on a website. So
I was thinking about it and I just went to it because I didn't know how to put it in words. But what it says is it's an online journal of information. It says an online journal or informational website displaying information in reverse chronological order with the latest posts appearing first and top. So it's really kind of like a person's thoughts that are things that interest them, or they kind of have a conversation on education. Yeah.
So a lot of the
Thanks.
website builders will have an option to create a blog section on your website where it will allow you to write a blog, and then when you go to write the next blog, it archives the old blog in chronological order, like reverse. And the reason to do that is it's super helpful in the organic SEO world, which is the portion of search that's below local search, because people will basically write a paragraph in Google what they're looking for. And if you've written a blog post about that, it'll show up in those organic searches, which is super helpful. But another reason to do blog posts is driving traffic to your website. So what you do, once you write your blog post, the way that those website builders are set up, if they have the blog mechanism, then each time you write a blog, it gives it a new URL address. So you could take that URL address and push it out through email marketing, through your social media posts with that link. And so people see the little blurb about your latest blog post and they're like, yeah, I want to read that. So they click the link and it takes them back to your website. Now you've got them captured on your website. So that's the whole blog game. And I can actually give you a RevLocal testimonial. So we do this very effectively because we're all about education. So we push out, if you sign up for our blog, you'll get it in an e-newsletter each week. But then if you follow our social media, you'll see the post about the blog with the link. And on average, we average 20% of our annual sales come through this marketing work, where the email marketing, the blog post, people are seeing what we have to offer and then contacting us, which is super nice. You want to get to a point where people are calling you instead of you having to call them.
Right.
Yeah. So we have some questions? No.
Things are so, I'm trying to make sure people have.
Oh, put your information in there.
Mhm.
So it's fascinating to me being in the media game as long as I have to see all of the changes and. There's still the traditional means of marketing and advertising that are still effective, but they're so much more effective if your online presence is properly built out because people will look you up. And if they can't find you, it's like you don't exist. Or if they find you and you're jacked up online, they don't want to do business with you. So that's really important to tend to your online presence in today's marketing space.
And if you had to sum it up in something simple, how would you sum that up? Because you actually gave us quite a bit as far as when it comes down to me anyway, when it comes down to dealing with the social media. So, you know, if you had to sum it up, how would you sum it up?
Yeah, well, making sure that you have a solid brand presence in all walks of your business. And that follows through all the way to your social media. So that brand building is really important.
What are your thoughts on the site for Alignable?
Yeah, so I'm involved, I'm active on Alignable. So it's a funny thing, when, you know, COVID happened and the lock, and you couldn't like go see people in person. And the free Alignable allows you like 10 connections a month. And so I would see people's listings on there and I'd used up my 10 connections. So I would just call them up and say, oh, I was really intrigued by your listing on Alignable, but I used up my 10 free connections. So I just thought I'd pick up the phone and call you. And people would crack up. They're like, wow, someone's actually calling me to learn about my business. But it is helpful because it does provide phone numbers, whereas LinkedIn, people don't really put their phone numbers on anything. But Alignable is more local. As far as posting in the feed, it's not like other social media. It's kind of annoying in a way where everyone is just pushing themselves and not really building a community. So that's it's more of like a directory to find people, I think, in my personal view. Are you on Alignable?
I'm into it. Someone invited me.
Yeah.
And I haven't really opportunity to play around with it, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, and they have tutorials on the site of how to set it up, and they've become much more mercenary and pushing their premium, and we're gonna need to pay to be in their marketplace, and just stick with the free stuff.
Is it Alignable for whole world?
Yes, it's a social media platform similar to LinkedIn, but more on a localized basis.
Now somebody the word spell.
Oh, ALIGNABLE, Alignable. Yes, kind of a mouthful.
Sure.
Mhm.
I just want to say to Robert, what you asked about, to sum it all up. For me and for you, actually for us, I think, because it is somewhat overwhelming. And it's good to just find somebody that you can afford
Yeah,
to take care of that for you.
well, and that.
Or, you
That's
know,
what we're
or
doing.
to teach you, but you know, it's a lot that is, you have to stay on top. It takes time, you know, and so trying to learn and trying to paint, run your business, you know, it's a lot and it could get overwhelming. I would find me a niece, a nephew, somebody that's already doing it. Kids are already on these phones, they already working it. And you could pay somebody that you know to say, hey, this is what I do. I need you to let everybody on my own platform, you know, get you set up. I need you to make sure that they know what I'm doing. Now, even if they don't do it every day, if they do it once a week, update your stuff. You know what I mean? It's better than nothing.
Well, and
Not
just-
doing anything.
Just to let you know, we consider ourselves digital marketing handle, so you don't have to do it. And we have plans as low as less than $500 a month, so it's not that expensive to work with, you know, premier level.
You said 500 a month.
Less than $500 a month.
So. I mean, but for the people that's in business making that kind of,
Right,
You know, but
Yeah.
for somebody starting like me, that. Right.
yeah.
You know what,
Yeah.
and that, she said that's low. That's astronomical to me, Miss Carol.
Less than. I think our
Right.
starter level plans are $3.99.
Yeah. But then to, to avoid that, you would have to be really doing something in your business. A beginner like me, I'm have to build up to that. That was great though.
Okay, but that should be part of your business plan,
That's right.
You get a budget. to build up to that.
Yeah, and also as part of your business plan and part of your financial plan. To include that, all your expenses when you go. Try to get your little capital to work with. Get you enough to last for at least a year and see what it's going.
Did we have a question?
Everyone just thanking for the
Oh.
good webinar.
Sure, appreciate you. It's amazing how fast things change in the digital world.
Yeah. I sit in.
I started in 75 and
Well, I sit in on a national consultants call every Monday morning, and for 20 minutes, we go over what's changed in the digital space since last week. We need to be aware.
and it's amazing that. And then I see Google's kind of in trouble right now.
We are in mafia, so.
Yeah, but they not the only one because AT&T is too. They got quite a big going.
Yeah. Well, thank you all.
No, thank you so much.
See, how you broke it down is, you made it really simple and plain. So, I know I didn't have a problem. I just had a problem with a couple of words. But you did make it plain, so you did a great job.
Thanks for the cycle. That's great to know for helpful for me.
Oh, yeah.
The post cycle, yes.
And I like.
Yeah, housing. That makes it consistent of you parting your font and color. And just in case you may ever lose it, you can easily recreate it. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, you was so.